Today, we're diving deep into the top 3 rarest and most valuable UK Elizabeth coins ever struck. Imagine holding a simple coin in your hand could be worth not just a few pence, but hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds. These coins aren't just currency, they're pieces of history, filled with minting errors, shocking values. We're going to diving deep into the fascinating history of the 1971 UK Elizabeth 5 new pence coin, the rare minting errors that make some of them so valuable, and real examples of how much collectors are willing to pay for these treasures. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because the last error type we'll talk about has shocked even the most experienced coin experts with its astronomical value. That's right, a simple mistake made at the Royal Mint back in 1971 could turn a coin you might dismiss as pocket change into a life-changing discovery. The history of the 5 new pence coin. To understand why the 1971 5 new pence coin is so important, we need to take a quick trip back to the late 1960s and early 1970s. The United Kingdom was preparing for one of the most significant monetary changes in its history, decimalization. Before 1971, the UK used the old currency system of pounds, shillings, and pence. It was complicated. 1 pound equals 20 shillings, 1 shilling equals 12 pence. This system had been in place for centuries, but by the 1960s, it was considered outdated and impractical compared to decimal mint of money. Why error coins are so valuable? Error coins are like nature's accidents in the coin world. They happen when something goes wrong during the minting process, such as a misaligned die, the wrong metal planchet, or a double strike. Most of the time, these flawed coins are caught during quality checks and destroyed. But every now and then, one escapes into circulation. When that happens, the coin becomes a rarity, and rarity is what drives value in the world of numismatics. Think about it: if millions of normal 1971 5 new pence coins exist, they're basically worth face value or just a little bit more to collectors. But if only a handful of error versions exist, then collectors. The most rare errors and valuable. Off-center strikes. £4,000 to £5,000. Double strike errors. £8,000 to £10,000. Wrong planchet errors. £45,000 to £50,000. Proof-like error coins. £5,000 to £25,000. Real auction sales and market demand. So, what are these coins actually selling for in today's market? A simple mis-struck 1971 5 new pence sold for around £3,000 on eBay recently. A double strike error fetched over £25,000 at a London auction. A wrong planchet coin from the early 1970s, though not specifically 1971, went for £35,000. And while no confirmed 1971 mule has surfaced publicly, experts agree that if one did, it could sell for over £1 million. Collectors around the world, especially in the UK, Europe, and even the United States, are hunting for these coins. How to identify one in your collection? If you have some old coins lying around, here's what to look for. Check the alignment. Is the Queen's portrait or the thistle off center? Look for doubling. Do the letters or numbers look blurry or shadowed? Check the metal. Does the coin look larger, smaller, or a different color than normal? Look for unusual finishes. Is it shinier than normal circulation coins? Compare with other 1971 coins. Does anything seem off? If you spot something unusual, it could be worth a fortune. Final thoughts. The 1971 5 new pence coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a symbol of a historic change in British money, and when you add in the rare errors, it becomes more than just a coin, it becomes a potential treasure. So the next time you come across one of these coins, don't dismiss it as ordinary pocket change. Take a closer look, because you just might be holding a coin worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1971 era UK Elizabeth II new pence coin, a coin that hides secrets, history, and shocking values that most collectors don't even realize exist. Stick with me until the end, because the story behind this coin will leave you stunned, and you'll want to check every single penny in your possession after this. Imagine this: you're sorting through your loose change, maybe clearing out an old drawer or flipping through a forgotten coin jar. Suddenly, you spot a simple copper coin, ordinary, just another old penny. But what if I told you that this very coin could be worth not just a few pounds, not even a few hundred, but thousands or even millions of pounds? Yes, millions. The background. To understand why the 1971 new pence is so special, we need to rewind to a historic turning point in British coinage. 1971 was no ordinary year. It marked Decimal Day, February 15th, when Britain officially switched from the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system into the modern decimal system we know today. Before 1971, 12 pence in a shilling, 20 shillings in a pound. A confusing system for everyday transactions. After 1971, 100 new pence in a pound. Simpler, modern, and aligned with international systems. Why errors make coins valuable. Collectors love errors because they represent accidents of history. Tiny mistakes at the Royal Mint that escaped detection. The 1971 new penny had a massive mintage, making normal examples worth face value or just pennies to collectors. But when a coin contains mis-strikes, off-center designs, die errors, doubled lettering, missing details, planchet errors, wrong metal or wrong thickness, mule errors, wrong obverse paired with wrong reverse, it transforms from common to extraordinary. Think about it, a coin that cost just 1p to produce could skyrocket to £10,000 to £30,000, or even into the millions depending on rarity, condition, and demand. And with the 1971 new pence being the first year of issue for decimal coinage, any error becomes even more historically significant. The most rare errors and valuable. Double strike error. £3,000 to £5,000. Off-center strike. £12,000 to £15,000. Wrong planchet error. £20,000 to £30,000. Clipped planchet error. £7,000 to £10,000. Auction records and shocking values. Let's talk real money. In recent years, error decimal coins have shocked the market. A 1983 new pence 2p mule sold for over £70,000. Rare sovereign and halfpenny errors from the 20th century have crossed £80,000. Now, because the 1971 new pence was the launch year of decimalization, any major error is potentially more desirable than those later examples. Experts believe that if a dramatic 1971 wrong planchet or mule error went to auction today, it could easily fetch £50,000 to £1 million or more. Yes, a humble copper penny could fund a house, a luxury car, or even an early retirement. How to identify a rare 1971 error 2 new pence. So, what should you look for in your collection or loose change? Examine the lettering. Is new penny or Elizabeth doubled, missing, or misaligned? Check the edges. Is the coin clipped, bent, or off-center? Look at the metal. Is the coin too light, too heavy, or the wrong color, silver instead of bronze? Compare details. Does the portrait look wrong? Is the crown missing detail? Condition matters. Errors in uncirculated condition can multiply value many times over. Always use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to spot fine details. Final thoughts: could you own a fortune? So here's the takeaway: while most 1971 new pence coins are only worth a penny or two, the rare error varieties could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds. If you've got a 1971 new pence lying around, check it carefully. You might just be holding one of the most valuable coins in British decimal history. We're diving deep into the jaw-dropping world of the 1971 era UK Elizabeth I new penny coin, exploring its history, key features, the most valuable minting mistakes, and the staggering prices these coins can fetch at auction. Stick with me until the very end, because the final era we'll cover is so rare, collectors are willing to pay life-changing sums in the hundreds of thousands or even millions of pounds for a single coin. So grab your magnifying glass, because you're about to discover just how powerful a tiny penny can be. The history of the 1971 UK Elizabeth I new penny. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to rewind to 1971. That year marked a historic moment in British currency decimalization. On February 15, 1971, known as Decimal Day, the United Kingdom officially switched from the centuries-old pounds, shillings, and pence system to the modern decimal system we use today. Out went the confusing 12 pence to a shilling, 20 shillings to a pound. In came the simple system of 100 new pence equals 1 pound. The 1 new penny was among the very first decimal coins issued that year. Struck in bronze, it weighed 3.56 grams. Why error coins are so valuable? Error coins occur when something goes wrong during the minting process. With billions of coins struck in 1971, even the tiniest mistake could create a small batch of unusual coins. Collectors adore these mistakes because they're rare. Sometimes only a handful survive. They tell a story. Each era reveals something fascinating about the minting process. They spark competition. When demand outstrips supply, prices skyrocket. For the 1971 one new penny, era coins range from simple misstrikes worth a few £100 to dramatic minting blunders valued at hundreds of thousands, or even millions. The most rare and valuable errors. Off-center strike error. £5,000 to £2,000. Double-struck error. £5,000 to £10,000. Planchet error wrong metal. £30,000 to £50,000. The mule error. £40,000 to £60,000. Auction records and market values. The coin market thrives on rarity and excitement. A few highlights. In 2016, a misstruck 1971 penny with dramatic off-center doubling sold for over £25,000. A wrong planchet one new penny appeared in 2019 and fetched £72,000. Collectors today speculate that a genuine mule or precious metal strike could break the £1 million barrier at auction. With coins, it only takes two passionate collectors going head-to-head to drive the price into unthinkable territory. How to identify a rare 1971 era one penny. Here's what you need to do if you've got a jar of old pennies lying around. Check the weight and color. Wrong planchet errors often have odd metal tones or unusual weights. Look for off-center designs. Anything visibly misaligned is worth examining. Search for doubling. A double-struck coin will show overlapping portraits or numbers. Examine proof sets. Rare proof errors can be hiding in family heirloom coin sets. Get professional grading. If you think you found something, send it to a trusted grading service like NGC or PCGS. Remember, even a minor error can mean hundreds of pounds, while a major one can be life-changing. Final thoughts. So, the next time you see a humble 1971 one new penny, don't dismiss it as worthless. Look closer. That tiny coin in your hand could be a rare minting error worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of pounds, and if you're lucky enough to own one of the ultra-rare varieties like a mule, wrong planchet, or proof error, then congratulations. You're sitting on a piece of British numismatic treasure that collectors would battle furiously to own.